What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Game On Improve Your Health podcast. My name is Austin J, or hallucinodream if you know me from the gaming community. And tonight I am being joined once again by my lovely wife and co-host, Christina. Thank you for joining us tonight.
I would say it's my pleasure, but today it's actually not.
That's awkward. And today we are doing our follow-up and question and answer to podcast episode 14. I'm never even keeping up with the podcast episodes, so I'm hoping it's 14, which is how nutrition ties into fitness. Now, so this is episode 15, right? So we're going over any questions that may have came in and anything that we may have missed, wanted to add, etc., etc. Good time to use etc. And long story, we'll never get into that. And so we'll go over the first question. The first question was, what diet do you recommend for somebody who is just starting their nutrition routine? And I'm going to let Christina take this one off.
Well, the best diet that I can recommend is to just not eat any carbs. No, just kidding. Do not do not do that. I mean, really, I think we kind of went over it on our nutrition podcast, and we went over it on this past one. Like, really, just do the research on like what you need for your body, but don't start like just cutting stuff out. Like, that's never the answer, when you're just starting out. So I wouldn't, if you eat McDonald's every day for every meal, like, don't try to all of a sudden just eat salads. Like, that's not gonna work out. So really just start slow, figure out what it is that you need for your body, your workouts, and something that you're going to be able to stick to. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think when it comes to, I think that's a valid point. You want to start slow. We said that in a couple different episodes. Start slow, so don't cut everything out. If you are eating McDonald's every single meal, every single day, maybe try to cut it out once a day. So get something different for breakfast. Maybe start with breakfast. Unless breakfast is your favorite, then don't start there, because then it really will backfire on you. But just try to breakfast, do even just a cereal bar or something, right?
For me,
oatmeal.
like, that's the easiest. When I'm trying to change my eating habits, starting with breakfast is always the easiest. One, for me, for a couple reasons. One, if I start out my day eating well, my mindset is that I don't want to ruin it. Like, I don't want to ruin that good feeling with like Big Mac or Chick-fil-A or like a heavy lunch. It starts my motivation, right, to feel good. And then it's the most important meal, number one. But number two, it's also the one that people like tend to skip the most, or you don't have time for the most. So it's really easy to pick something that's nutritional, because you can do a shake, or you can do something like oatmeal, or he said like a cereal bar or something like that. Fruit, like, really just starting your day on a good note will help you make better choices throughout the day, is what I find.
Yeah, I think starting off the day, that's a good point. Starting off the day strong will definitely help, especially if you start off the day, you start doing that after a while, you start feeling good, and then you eat a meal at lunch that doesn't make you feel good. You're going to notice a difference, so then you're going to start changing more, and you're going to continue to do it because it makes you feel well. Now, the question, we're going to dip into what diet as well, because the question goes along with diets. We can't particularly tell you what diet will be best for you, and we can't say that for anybody. Legally, we're not allowed to. We're not registered dietitians. We're not nutritionists. We're not a physician or anybody who's able to say any of that information. We can only give recommendations, and the recommendation is that just try different diets, right? So do research before you start.
I don't even call them diets. I think that's a big thing too. Like, it's not a diet, it's like a lifestyle change,
Yeah.
Like, not to get like super like holistic here, but like, something that's long term is not a diet, right? Diet sounds so short term. Like, it's
It
about,
transitions from a diet to a lifestyle change.
yeah, like it's about feeling good. Like that's what I've always gotten from eating well, working out. Like forget the like the physical changes that you might be like looking for as well. Like but how you will feel is really one of the biggest benefits, and I think one of the biggest things you should be going for is really how you feel, because then everything gets easier, right? Then it's easier to look the way that you want because you feel good about yourself. Like you are feeling good, you're feeling healthy, and it's easier to stick to things.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All great points. I know you have
They
nothing
are
else
all
to
great
say.
points. I'm going to backtrack, though, because people do. There's the Mediterranean diet, right? There is the, Mediterranean diet's a real diet. There's a bunch of different diets out there, a bunch of fad diets. There's the keto diet. There is a
Yeah.
bunch, there's a paleo diet. There's a bunch of diets. So what I am talking about is specifically that. Christina is talking specifically nutrition, right? There's a difference. It's basically the same, but there's a difference. Nutrition will be your lifestyle change. The diet will be, you can do diets. You can do a paleo diet. You can do a keto diet. You can do a carnivore diet, right? That's how a meat only diet. That's a real thing. People do that. You just have to do it in spurts. So try a diet, see how it makes you feel, and then, if it makes you feel good or if it makes you feel bad, then you determine from there. Don't ever these diets aren't designed really, and nobody really says this very much. They're not necessarily made to. There's not the most. I don't know the best way to put this. There's not that
Not
much.
sustainable.
Yeah, for long periods of time.
Yeah.
And there's not dedicated research to. There's not a significant amount of dedicated research to long term on all these diets. So you got to put into consideration. If you think back to, prehistoric ages, right, where the dinosaurs lived and what they did. No, I'm talking about like our ancestors, what they
dinosaurs
did.
ate?
Yeah, what they did. Our dinosauric ancestors. What our ancestors ate, right, in the very old times. Hunters and gatherers, they weren't able to get meat all year round. So they had their diets technically changed from season to season. So yours should change periodically too, and that's not a bad thing. You'll hear that from several different people if you research that. And basically the best thing to do is to do your research beforehand. Just know that transitioning into a specific diet is going to be very difficult. It's going to be more difficult than just, focusing on parts of your nutrition. So choose a diet, see what it does for you, and if it makes you feel awful, skip that diet. Skip portions of that diet. Don't do it all day, right? And then, just change different diets. There's a bunch of different ones out there. But I think what Christina said is very important. For those who want to stick with a diet or need some kind of diet, you, like I said, transition. But I think what Christina said was very important is just go, stick with it being nutrition and a lifestyle change, like a habit change. So.
Yeah, well, because I think that just like when you're like always dieting, right? Like a diet is like kind of seems short term, and like then you tend to fall off those a lot easier than just like, hey, you know what? Like there's gonna be one day that I am gonna eat like crap, like because we're going out or we're doing whatever. Like, you didn't mess up your diet. Like you're just living your life. So there are gonna be some days where you eat better than others, and I would say another tip which you can touch on is like not maybe starting your brand new fitness routine and then totally changing your diet, right? Because then I think nutrition and both nutrition and working out, you're gonna have to listen to your body, right? Is this like making me too fatigued? Like am I too sore after? Like you're gonna have to be listening to your body, and it might be hard when you're trying two new things at once, right? So it's like, are you tired because you're not eating enough? Or are you tired because you never worked out before and now you're working out? So it's really, I think, important to like try to isolate instead of doing both things at once.
Yeah, that's very true. Make sure that you pay attention to that. She said that you need to pay attention to your body. You're not going to really understand what that means until you're several months into doing a fitness, health, and wellness routine, right? Because you're not gonna know the difference, especially if you change nutrition and start a fitness routine all at once. change your nutrition heavily with the fitness routines, you're just gonna. This is a double stressor right there. Now you're adding fitness. Now you're adding a huge change in your life. It's gonna be mentally wear you down as well because you're thinking about nutrition all day, and it's not something you want to do. So.
Yep. And
Take
if
baby
you
steps.
and if you are feeling like tired, then you could be, then you like are more easily like kind of burn out, and then you lose your motivation to work out or to eat better. So like if you were eating a bunch of sugar like all day, and then now you're trying to cut out your sugars and you're working out, like, well, are you like tired because of the workouts, or are you tired because now you're not having a lot of the sugars or caffeine or whatever? So I definitely think it's important to not do it all at once.
Yep. I think so. So I think that really wraps up the first question. That was actually the only question we got. So I think that wraps up the question that we got. This might be one of the shorter question and answer and follow-up episodes that we have. Do you have anything else that we might have missed that we want to add in regards to how can transition into fitness, nutrition and fitness, how they tie into one?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that we touched a lot about it in our previous podcast as well as our nutrition. We did a nutrition one already.
So if you haven't heard the first episode of this, how nutrition ties into fitness, go listen to that. If you haven't heard our nutrition episode and the follow-up and question and answer, go listen to those 2 episodes. There's a lot more information in there as well.
Any live questions from our viewers before we go?
Any live questions from our viewers? Dun dun dun. There is a bit of delay on the from when we ask a question and a potential question coming in. We're gonna give it.
How long do we have to wait?
That's about a 7-second delay. So if there was any questions, it would have maybe came in now. If we do get more questions, we'll put them in a separate video for anybody. But I think that's going to wrap up the episode for today. Again, very short one.
What if we didn't give them enough time? We'll wait.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
sorry, but we will do it, and we will put it in another episode if it does come in, because we didn't wait too long. We can't wait too long. Sorry, people on the podcast. We're gonna wait another 6 hours to sit here with us. This is our waiting music.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end the podcast there. For those of you watching live or on YouTube, everything
Thanks
over
for
here
nothing.
on your
Thanks for your no questions.
Everything over here on your left is our links to our website, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and our Twitch, which is where we are now, and YouTube. And you can follow me at hallucinodream. All my information will be in the description. For those listening on the podcast, all of that information will be in the description. Over here to my left, which you can't see in the podcast, is my lovely wife. Her information is hidden until further notice. And thank you for those who are joining us. Thank you for those who did. And we will be back next Wednesday at 9:30. I'm not sure if everybody knows this yet, but for the next 5 weeks, 5, 6, 7, about the next 10 weeks, I think. So about 2 months, just about until April, we're going to be doing the podcast at 9:30 p.m. Eastern as opposed to 7:30. So just for 2 months, we're doing it Wednesdays at 9:30.
Why 2 months?
Because that's when my class ends.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry. Next episode is February 10th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And we don't have a topic for you because we like to 50-50 on if we give it to you, but we will hope to see you guys there 9:30 p.m. Eastern here on Twitch and YouTube. And until then, thank you guys for tuning in, and have a good
splendid night,
week and night and day and
weekend.
yeah, and see ya.
Bye.